And finally, we've reached day 5, interpreting and comparing functions. So we're putting together everything we've learned for this week. So number 1, the graph shows a function. Which equation represents a function with a rate of change that's less than the rate of change in the function of the function in the graph? So all we need to do is find the rate of change here, which is it should be our coefficient. So we see that we start here at 2, and then we can just find how to get from 1 to the next. So we got 1, 2, and 3, and 4 there, of course. So from 0 to 1, we're at 3, and then from 1 to 2, we're at 5, and then from 2 to 3, we're at 6.5. So we're going from 2 to 3.5. So that's plus 1.5. And then from 3.5 to 5, that's plus another 1.5, and it's going to keep going in that pattern. So the rate of change for the graph is 1.5. So we're just looking for the one that represents a function with the rate of change that's less than 1.5, because that's what our graph shows. So we're looking for ones that are less than 1.52 here. So we're literally just looking at all of the coefficients here and seeing if they are less than 1.5. 2 is not less than 1.5, so it's not our answer. 5 over 3 is equal to 1 2/3, which is about 1.67, which is more than 1.5, so no. C is 3/2, which is 1 1/2, which is exactly 1.5, which is not less than 1.5. So that cannot be our answer. Then D, if you don't see a number or a coefficient, that means it's an invisible 1. So that's really just a 1, and of course 1 is less than 1.5, so D is a solution. And then we have y, which is x over 2. I'm sorry, it says y equals x over 2 plus 5. So we just look at x over 2, and that's half of an x. So we just look at the half, and of course that's less than 1.5. So that is also a solution. And we move on to number 2. For each variable description, write the correct equation from the choices provided. Samantha begins her road trip with 30 gallons of gasoline in the tank of her van. So her initial value is 30. Her van gets 25 miles to the gallon. That should be her rate of change. 25 miles to the gallon. Let Y represent the number of gallons of gasoline in the tank after X miles of travel. So this one should be the one that starts off with 30, and then we have our 25 miles of our 25 miles to the gallon. Okay. So since it gives miles to gallon and X is miles, so miles over gallon. So we have 25 miles to the gallon, so we should have our so we should have our miles over gallons, which is here. So that is Y equals 30 minus X over 25. We have X as our miles and 25 was our gallons. It matches up, so we're good. All right, Evan has a cell phone plan that costs $30 a month. $30 a month. Yep, it's $30 a month, no matter what. So that's going to be our initial value every month, or just our initial value. And then he's also going to be paying $25 per minute for the phone use. Ooh, this has been written a long time ago, but okay. 25 cents per minute is going to be our rate of change. So he's going to be paying $30, which is here. Of course, these are just out. And then plus our 25 cents per minute, which is our X minutes. And then this is our initial value. So of course that matches. Y equals 30 plus 0.25x. All right, and we go ahead and move on to number 3. The rate for 2 homework help services are shown below. We have Homework SOS and Homework Lifeline. Part A says which service has the greater rate of change and which has the greater initial value. So looking at Homework SOS. So Homework SOS and then Homework Lifeline. So Homework SOS, it starts off at $10, which is our initial value. And then Homework Lifeline, you have to pay $25 to set it up. That's going to be our initial value. 10 is our starting output, so that's our initial value. That's where I got that from. So we got to pay that part. And it says for Homework Lifeline, they're paying $40 for each minute. So that's, or I'm sorry, 40 cents for each minute. I wrote my 4 like I used to. And then for each minute, and then we go from 0 to 10 minutes. From 0 to 10 minutes, it's going to be from $10 to $15, so it increased by $5, and it's going to continue doing that. But it was $5 for 10 minutes. How much is it for 1 minute? So divide by 10, so we'll have 50 cents per minute for Homework SOS, plus 50 cents per minute. Okay, so then we have our stuff. So it says which service has the greater rate of change. The rate of change is our coefficient, which is the amount it changes per minute, or how the amount they charge per minute. So Homework SOS charges 50 cents per minute. Homework Lifeline charges 40 cents. So the one with the greater rate of change is going to be Homework SOS. And the greater initial value is our constant. That one's going to be in blue. That's the initial value, the amount they charge you just to get set up for them. And that was Homework Lifeline. Yeah, Lifeline. They had the greater initial value. Okay, and then it says describe what this means in the context of the problem. Homework SOS has the greater rate overall. This means, sorry. So Homework SOS has the greater rate. Which means that they charge more per minute. Then Homework Lifeline. And Homework Lifeline has a greater initial value, which means that the cost to set up an account with them is greater. And that's all for part A. And then we move on to part B, which is our last one for today. So, what would be the total cost for setting up an account and receiving 90 minutes of homework assistance at each company? Well, good thing we already created an equation in part A. So Homework SOS is going to cost us $10 initially plus 50 cents per minute. And Homework Lifeline is going to cost us $25 initially plus 40 cents per minute. And the number of minutes is 90. So we have 10 plus our 0.5 times our 90, and 25 plus 0.4 times our 90. So it's going to cost us $55 at Homework SOS, and it's going to cost us $61 at Homework Lifeline. So what would the total cost be? We have the total cost. It'll actually be cheaper at Homework SOS. Cheaper at Homework SOS than Homework Lifeline. And that is all for day 5 and for this lesson. I hope you took really great notes. If you didn't, just feel free to go back to our tutorials for the other day's lessons, or even just rewatch this if you needed to. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.